down cause by the two interventions before. Let me make a few comments, a few reflections. First of all, we should not overlook the fact that we are talking about a European master of translation. The term European is very important. We are not talking about national programs. We are talking about programs which provide the future supply to a global market. Global, European here. We are not talking about the national market. We're talking about the European market. Because as we saw yesterday with Mr. Cronin, this is a global profession. We were into this exotic or endotic travel, and what is more global than translation, because it combines two different language communities in mostly two different states, nations, or even regions. So our interest here is actually to provide for a European approach, not a national approach. Now, if some universities consider that they are habilité, authorized, legitimized, canonized by their national authorities, and that they meet these criteria, then I don't see any reason why they shouldn't apply. Why they should apply is that we would like to apply the same criteria across Europe, that we confront these national accreditations with other national accreditations on the basis of a commonly agreed set of criteria. So I would turn the argument of our French colleague and say, well, if he considers that all the universities meet these criteria, that is one reason for applying. And we will apply the coherent criteria across the board. Now, what is the interest of DGT then here? Now, I would first of all agree wholeheartedly with what René Priou just said. We have the same experience. We cannot, and I think that should be clarified here, we cannot establish through this EMT label or the EMT competencies a exclusive selection, because our staff regulations in the Commission and in the European institutions oblige us to take anybody from the street. Anybody. We have open competitions. Anybody can apply who has a master's degree or who has a degree, academic degree. And then we do the testing. We have a rather complicated and complex multi-stage selection procedure, but we observe the same as Mr. Priou. It is, perhaps it's a coincidence, but it is always the same laureate, the same candidates from the same educational institutions which are the best. And we want to make this process transparent. We want to identify to you, to all the universities, better our needs. This is our role in the process. We have not, and I think we have had long discussions there, whether we should be the sole guardian of this process, whether we should be the one, the Commission should be the one who selects somehow the universities. We are not competent to do that, because we are not academicians. We are practitioners. We do the concrete job. But you, the universities, you are not competent to establish our needs. We are competent to establish our needs. You are not. You are competent for your academic curricula. But what we need to do here is to bring all those together. We are there in order to establish and to make transparent our needs, and on that basis we establish the competencies together with you, and at the end of the day we do the selection together. That is a partnership for an issue which I think is of common concern to all of you. So the role of the DGT in this process is not to be the master of the universe, but to bring into the kitty, to bring into this process our professional assessment of what are the future translators that we need from the market. And your interest, I think, is to see whether your programs are good enough to provide the market with those competencies that are needed. Now, a further role of the Commission here, a further role of DGT, is to, and I come back to what I started with, to establish this European approach, to avoid parochialism, if I may use a word which is perhaps a bit pejorative, but to avoid parochialism. That is our role in this, to enable this program to be successful on the global market, because all of you, or none of you, I presume, and I hope at least, are furnishing candidates or diplomas only for the local market, because the market is global. Those are the comments I would like to make on this issue.